The Crypto Markets Update is presented by Grayscale, the world's largest digital currency asset manager.
All right, joining us now to discuss the crypto markets and more is Stephen Ehrlich, founder and CEO of Voyager Digital. Hello there, Steve. Great to see you. So we saw a bit of a pop-off at the start of the weekend in crypto. It's cooling down now. What's your outlook on the markets?
Still really bullish on the markets, obviously being in the space. We like what we see. We're seeing more money come in from retail consumers and buying more of the cryptos. We're seeing a lot of buying on Bitcoin on our platform. We're seeing a lot on, as Lewis said, on Algo and on Avalanche. We're seeing a lot of people, coming in and making their purchases of those cryptos as well, and those altcoins. So we're still very bullish. We think by the end of the year, as I've said previously, we're going to see the prices increase substantially by the end of the year.
You can almost hear the traffic on your site. The story going around is that a lot of it is short coverings that after Bitcoin broke above technical levels, there were a lot of short coverings that came in, particularly in the U.S. First of all, is that necessarily the case? Is that what you saw on your end? I know you guys aren't doing futures there. But I mean, do you have any indication on your side as to whether or not that was the case, that there was short covering? And if so, what broke it above that technical level to begin with? It seems to be a lot of weird stuff happening, not necessarily in the U.S., but overseas. Do you have any insight onto that?
Back out a second. As a retail broker, you're right. We don't have futures on our platform. There's still a lot of uncertainty on retail access to futures. And the pricing of that in the States here. But we did see that, in our research showed that there was some short covering. There is always, a push and pull between the U.S. and the international markets when it comes to crypto and Bitcoin. But we did see, from our research, some short covering. And then our retail guys came in on that as well.
So there's been some very dramatic movements in Bitcoin recently, and one of the causes that analysts are suggesting are regulatory movements either from the United States or from China. China is quite obvious. They just, went to a new level in their crypto crackdown. But you also have some signs from the U.S. that they are kind of tightening the regulatory framework. Do you think that either of these are playing into Bitcoin's price?
I think they are. I think that from a China perspective, we've seen this show before. We've seen it, many times where they've cracked down. Then there's always some more crackdown that comes after that. From a U.S. perspective, I actually think that it is holding back the price a little bit, but regulation's good. We've been saying that for a good long time here, that the more regulation that comes, we put an infrastructure in place to oversee, those of us who are abiding by the rules and playing, a normalized game and using traditional market rules and a lot of the things that we do. That'll be really good for the industry long term. I think it's a little bit of short-term pain holding it back right now. But as we have more clarity, that's really good for the industry and long-term price action.
All right, Stephen, you also have a bit of news. You're partnering up with Fundstrat, of course, an independent research boutique led by Tom Lee as well as John Bai. Perhaps you could go a bit about what led to that decision, what this partnership will entail. And of course, you chose a very bullish team to join on crypto.
Yeah, well, we are bullish. As I started, the telecast today with you guys, is that we are extremely bullish on Bitcoin and the crypto economy. We've known Tom a while now. We think he's one of the best, if not the best in the business, him and his team with crypto. And we really believe that it's really important to bring more education to retail consumers. I've seen this before. This is how the online brokerage business started 20 years ago when we just gave access, and then we brought more research and information to retail consumers. The time's right. The time is now. We get a lot of questions from consumers as to how they enter the space, what they should buy. And we just want to bring them that research to allow them to make their decisions a much more well-informed decision. Fundstrat's one. The other one we partner with is Market Rebellion and John and Pete Najarian too. So we've put a great group of analysts, capital markets guys around us to really help consumers.
Steve, my understanding was there an investment actually made into Fundstrat? And if so, are you now owning a majority stake, a minority stake? What's happening there?
investment into Fundstrat. It's a minority investment. Tom and John Buy still are the majority holders of Fundstrat. We're excited to be partnering with them. But in a lot of things that we do is we want to get involved. We really like the research they do. We have a full plan on how to deliver that to retail consumers. And they do have the best in the business for retail research for consumers. So we're excited about that. But yes, that minority interest is part of the overall production.
All right. Well,
so you see
Stephen?
Bitcoin going to you see Bitcoin going to 10 million? I think that was something that Tom once said.
I'll say, my prediction from for a while now has been 100,000 by the end of the year, and I'm going to stick to it.